Hey everyone, it's Dr. Andrew Orr here. I thought I'd come on after my couple of posts that I put up. I put a post up the other night talking about the complications of unmanaged endometriosis. And I'm actually going to be doing a series on unmanaged PCOS, adenomyosis, and a few other women's health conditions. But it's obviously got a lot of people commenting and a lot of people thinking, which is good because that's what the whole main aim of this is about, awareness. And it's also brought up a lot of topics and conversation as well. I've subsequently shared a couple of posts to show people what can happen. And one of the recent posts that I shared was on basically a pneumothorax, because women can get endometriosis. It can go everywhere in the body. Basically, it can be, a lot of women can get it up. Well, not a lot, it's more rarer, but you can get it up into the diaphragm, up into the lungs. It's been found in the brain, behind the retina. We've found it in joints, all kinds of stuff. But I'm trying to bring awareness about two things. And it doesn't matter. We've seen a few naysayers come on here, and we do get them every so often, and we know where they come from, but we just delete those people off here. The real thing is that when women need to see people, and like gynecologists and especially surgeons, they need to see what we call an advanced trained surgeon. It's no use seeing someone that's just a general gynecologist and so forth that doesn't really specialise in endometriosis, because what's going to happen is they're going to go in, do the surgery, and then go, oh, it's out of my scope of practice, and maybe do minimal surgery. Where what I'm trying to say to people, it's like every area, every profession, we have people that are more specialised that in a certain area, and they've done more training. That's the thing. So these advanced trained surgeons, you want to excise the disease. You want to cut it, not ablate it. We know that there's a lot of research on that. But these advanced trained surgeons have done advanced trained surgery. And the other part is to keep their advanced trained status. Yes, there is no specialty area called advanced trained surgeon. They're all surgeons and so forth, but they have done the extra training, and to maintain, and they're allowed to advertise that they're an advanced trained surgeon, a laparoscopic surgeon as well. But to maintain advanced trained status, it's about the number of surgeries they do a year to, and they have to do a certain amount to keep that advanced trained status. It's like just, going to your normal mechanic, and then you take your truck in there and you want a normal mechanic to fix your truck, or a mechanic to go and fix the space shuttle. Endometriosis needs specialised people that specialise in endometriosis. It's like area like we've got physiotherapists, for example. So they're registered just under physio. But there's physios that specialise in certain areas. There'll be some that specialise in musculoskeletal and a broad range of things. But we also have what we call pelvic floor physios, and they actually specialise just in the pelvic floor. Sure, they're physiotherapists, they can do other things, but they've done training to specialise in pelvic floor spasms and things like that. So that's what I'm trying to explain to people, is that a lot of people have just seen the wrong people, or they might have just seen a gynecologist who's tried to help them, but may not have had the training, especially the advanced training, to be able to deal with their disease. And it's not anyone's fault, because not every area has these people either. And it's not denigrating anyone either. That's what I say to people. If I don't do a certain area, I'm not going to feel denigrated if someone says, well, oh, you don't do that. And I'm like, well, no, I don't do that. So it's not my area. So I wouldn't even try and touch it. I think the whole issue is that you need to see the right people. And that's the one thing I'm trying to say. You've got to see the right people up front. And the unfortunate part is a lot haven't. And we know that those women are still in pain. They haven't been dealt with properly. And that's the big issue. And we need to talk about it. because they just haven't seen. The other part, there isn't enough of these advanced trained surgeons that specialize just in endometriosis either. So, but we also, I'm trying to get through to people, is surgery is only one part of your endometriosis treatment. And a lot of people go get the surgery and then they think all their endometriosis is gone. No, it hasn't. They've just cut away the endometriosis that is being expressed. There's more endometriosis that can grow and come. There's no cure for it. And you've got to understand that surgery is not a cure for endometriosis. We know that despite the best medical interventions, surgery, medications, payment, women are still in pain and are still got symptoms and so forth. Does that mean that you don't go and have surgery? No, it doesn't, because if you get to a point where the pain management isn't working, where things aren't working, you need to go and get it investigated. And that often requires a laparoscope to go in and have a look. It's the only thing left. Sure, you don't want to do multiple surgeries after surgeries and surgeries as well, but you can't leave a woman in pain at the same time where she's done all the conservative treatment, she's been on hormones, she's been on GnRH analogs, she's been on pain medications, she's done everything. She's still in pain. You've got to go in and have a look. So when you decide to go in and have a look, you need to see an advanced trained laparoscopic surgeon who specializes in the excision, cutting the disease, cutting it away, not ablating it, lasering it. And that's one thing we know 100%. There's enough research on it. So if anyone wants to come on and say no, so I'll kick them off quick, smart, delete. We just get a few jealous people within the profession sometimes, and this is the whole thing. Every profession, we have these sort of things, but we also get a lot of keyboard warriors and that don't even know what they're talking about, and they just scour websites. So those ones we keep off here. The other part that I'm trying to get through to people is I know 100% that a lot of people with endometriosis, adenomyosis, so forth, are sitting at home trying to manage their own disease, and you can't do it. It'd be like me I don't manage my own health. I can't. I go and see my specialist, I go and see my surgeon, I go and see my hematologist, whatever I have to do, my GP, you've got to have all those people. And it's why I always say to people, you need a multimodality team approach with endometriosis, because it's multifaceted. Because you might need a physiotherapist, you might need a counsellor, you might need a pain specialist, you'll need a surgeon, you need your GP. And people get me wrong when I say don't just go and see your GP for period pain stuff. Sure, go and see your GP. Your GPs are invaluable. But what I'm trying to say is they're not gynecologists. They're general practitioners. So their job is really to listen to you and then refer you on. And if they can help you by, pain medication and stuff until you can get into a specialist, that's what they're supposed to do. So you've got to have a GP as well. This is not putting anyone down. It's not denigrating anyone, not anything. You've got to do it. But the one thing I'll say is you can't manage it just sitting at home on your own with diet and all that as well. It's an integral part of it, diet, nutrition, all that kind of stuff. But again, it's like anything. You need a professional to walk you through it. And you need someone that can help you and guide you and direct you, who might also need to bring in other practitioners like what I do. Like some surgeons will go in, these advanced trained surgeons, and they'll go in and endometriosis will be in there riddled that much over the bowel, everything like that. They'll need to call in a bowel surgeon. So it's multi-bits. And what I'm trying to say is if you leave it like a lot of people are, and they're trying to manage it on their own without any medical experience, you're going to get into trouble. And just because you've got the disease doesn't make you an expert in the disease either. It's like me having my condition. It doesn't make me an expert in it. Sure, I know a lot about my disease state and my genetic condition and so forth, but I'm not an expert in it. So I always pass it over because your judgment is clouded. If you don't have medical experience, your judgment's clouded anyway, and you don't have the real knowledge to go with it. And even with the knowledge to go with it, I wouldn't try and treat myself. And I see practitioners try and treat themselves. I see the general public try and treat themselves and things like that. I do get why. I understand 100% why people give up. I understand it. I've been there. I've been down the road of finding bad practitioner after bad practitioner after bad practitioner. But there is also some really good practitioners out there that are empathetic, that specialise in certain disease states, who will help you. But what I'm trying to tell you, if you're stuck in this mindset that because someone else has done the wrong by you, a healthcare practitioner hasn't helped you or done the wrong thing by you, you can't stay stuck in that mentality going all practitioners are bad, because they're not. Every profession, every human on this planet, every single modality has its good and its bad. It does, and it doesn't matter where you are, whether you're a stockbroker, a counsellor, a psychologist, an accountant, a surgeon, a GP. There's good and bad in everything. So you have to not live in this story. Oh, you know, they've done the wrong thing by me and they've done all these bad things to me. Yes, they have. And that is shocking that women are missed and dismissed. It's something I talk about 100%. It shits me to tears. It really does. It annoys me to the nth degree, and I have to hold myself back sometimes. But at the same time, I see some people stuck in this story that they've created in their own mind, and they're not getting past it. And you need to get past it, because if you don't get past it, you're going to put everyone into that same bracket, and you'll go and see someone who's good. And I've seen women attack really good practitioners as though they are the blame for all their issues from past. And it's not fair on that practitioner who is trying their best to help them, because then that practitioner goes, you know what, I can't do it. This person is stuck in the past. They're aggressive, they're angry, which is justifiable why they're angry, but it's not justifiable to transfer that onto someone else. So what I'm trying to say is that everyone needs to come together. If you're going to fight these diseases like endometriosis and that, we have to find middle ground. We know that there's bad practitioners. We know it takes up to 10 years to diagnosis, and it shouldn't. We know that there should be more subsidies, and there should be more research, and there should be more education and things like that, and there isn't. But it's slowly coming. But as I say to people, there are practitioners out there like myself and lots of other people around. There's Endometriosis Australia. Some of those doctors that are on the board of Endometriosis Australia here are amazing. They do a lot of work at government level, and without them and all people even putting anything out there about endometriosis, we don't bring attention to it. And so you can't put all them in the same boat as someone that's done the wrong thing by you, because there's some really good people out there. So what I'm trying to say to people is, forget your past. There is a future there, and you've got to get past all the wrongdoings. It's like anyone that's done anything wrong by you, that's in the past. You've got to get past that and look to the future and go, okay, who can help me now? And guess what? There's people out there like myself, hey, we can help you. Hello. We want to help you and steer you in the right direction. And we can't just keep blame, 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 blame. But at the same time, we can't have women missed and dismissed either. So finding the middle ground. And that's what I say to people is find that middle ground, but do not, please, please do not sit there and believe your story that no one can help you, because there are people that can. And if they're not in your area, there are people now that do online consults. I do online consults. There is telehealth now. There's access to services and things like that. The other part I need to, but there's not a, I'm sorry, when it comes to endometriosis, there's not a lot of help in the public system. But at the same time, if that's all you've got, that's all you've got. You just got to learn to utilize it in a little bit better. And if you can't, sometimes saving up to go and see someone that is in private practice that might do public work. There's not a lot anymore, I'm sorry. And I've had people throw mud and go, oh yeah, but if you really cared, you'd do it for free. The problem is I don't get subsidised. I am in private practice. I'm on my work on my own. No one pays my bills. I don't get subsidised. I can't do things for free. I would love to be at a point where I could do things for free for people, but I have children. I've got to put food on the table. I've got bills to pay, all that kind of stuff too. So we can't do it. It's not like that. A lot of people think that Medicare, it's all should be Medicare free, 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 free. It should be in one way, and I feel sorry for people. But I also say to people that sometimes if you're that bad and you're stuck in that much of a rut, imagine all the money you've spent on all the medications over the counter, these hocus pocus things like that. If you put that money into seeing a good practitioner, you're going to get a lot of help out of that. So you've got to look at it, that aspect too, that sure, you might have to pay for those services up front, and there is no Medicare rebates and services around it, some of them, especially a lot of integrated GPs don't have the Medicare. That's how it is. But you know, it's not because we don't care and whatever. It's just that we don't get subsidised. We don't get anything for the services we provide. It's not. There's nothing to give us, so we have to do it on our own. So it is about saving up and think of all that, because then if you see the right people, get the right treatment, right management, well, that you're going to reduce a lot of your medications, your pain and everything like that, so that you're not spending all that. So in the end, people go, oh yeah, but I've got to spend this money up front to see a specialist in private practice. Yeah, but that could save you a lot of time and energy, and you could be on public wait lists for years and maybe not even get help or dropped off wait list. And in that time, all the money you've spent on medications, blah, 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 blah. It all adds up. Nothing's free. I wish it was. I really wish it was. I wish in a perfect world it was, but it's not. So the point of my post, as you can see, I get quite passionate about this. And believe me, I know the stories I've heard of women. I'm on your side 100%. I hear the people that are missed and dismissed, and it annoys me to no end. But at the same time, I also hear the people that are stuck in a story and are not helping themselves and are actually self-sabotaging and really need to get some form of help to get over this mindset as well, that yes, you've been hurt, yes, you've been, wrong by it, but don't sit in the victim mentality. You're not the disease. You're a person. You're who you are. You aren't your disease. We have to teach you to move past that to get help, because if you're stuck in that, that spiral goes around and around, 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 and you'll never get off it. And that's what I care about too. And I understand why those people are in that situation, but you need to move forward too. But you can't manage the disease on your own. And these things like the pneumothoraxes and things are only just part of it. The other night I put up the worst part that could happen. You know, compacted bowels. We've seen perforated bowels. We've seen all kinds of stuff. It can ruin your, not only your fertility, but it can get to a point where people are taking their own life or end up with a huge infection and all kinds of stuff sitting at home, and all because they haven't gone and got help, or they think they can do it on their own, and you can't. You just can't. Because if you leave it too long and you rock up to the hospital, it might be too late. It really could be that late, where you could be nearly ready for multiple organ failures and all kinds of stuff. It can be that serious. Sure, this is on the rarer side of things, but I've seen some people that their bowels are just ready to perforate. And their organs, their heart, everything is ready to just go kaput. So, and they've been lucky. If your lung collapses, those people are lucky to a point that their heart didn't stop and all the rest, and then they've had other multiple things. So it's not to be alarmist or anything like that. This is to give people education that these things can happen, and please, again, don't try and do it on your own. See someone that specialises in endometriosis if you have endometriosis. Similarly, if you haven't been diagnosed and you've got chronic period pain and you've got clotting and you're doubled up and you've got nausea and your belly's looking like you're 9 months pregnant or that, please go and get help and see someone. Ask your GP to send you to someone that's an endometriosis specialist, because you suspect that you might have endometriosis. Go through the signs and symptoms with your GP, and hopefully they will refer you on. I know it doesn't always happen. I know it doesn't, and it should. This is the other part that I keep saying, it should, it doesn't. But if not, there's people that can help you get the right. And that's what I do for people. When people see me, I help them coordinate and help them where I can, and then go, right, well, you need surgery, you need this, this, and then coordinate it and make sure they get the right care possible. All right, that's enough. I was only going to talk for a very short little bit of time. Thanks for listening, but please don't try and do it on your own.